You want rest, but you certainly in some instances want that number one, but you want positioning also.
I think health always is the overriding factor. I mean, Van Horn has to be healthy, and plus when you play in the regular season, then you have about 3 or 4 days off before. So if you can rest him through those last 2 games, and it's an extra 3 or 4 days of health before the first game of the playoffs, Van Horn will get it back in the first half of game 1, but that health is critical.
Our officials tonight, Steve Janvey, Mark Wunderlich, and Jess Kersey. We also want to pass along another story that has moved on the wires here late this afternoon. An unconfirmed report from AP, from the Associated Press, that 2 more members have been added to the U.S. Olympic team, one of which is Allen Iverson of the Philadelphia 76ers, and the other reportedly is Indiana center and all-star Jermaine O'Neal, for Coach Larry Brown, who, of course, will coach that Olympic team.
It's about time Allen's been put on that team.
And out of bounds on the opening tap. And Philadelphia will inbound the ball. Philadelphia comes in with a record of 46-31. They have won 4 consecutive road games. They beat Detroit Tuesday by 17. Of course, Detroit playing without the injured Ben Wallace, at least until the first week of the playoffs. And that's an injury that will hurt the Pistons. Here's Iverson. And now to Snow with the shot clock showing 10. Allen Iverson with his first offering and cannot go. Rebound is picked up by Tony Delk, who now starts at the point for rookie J.R. Bremer. As Delk goes inside to Paul Pierce, working on Snow. And a rebound by Bateen.
And that's critical for them to get some offensive rebounds. The Celtics shoot a lot of perimeter shots. Pierce and Walker take a lot, and a lot of bad shots. They're not shooting a very good percentage, either one of them. They got to get second shot opportunities.
Well, a lot of that is hustle, too, because if you're shooting deep shots, the rebound is coming back very long. Those are floor rebounds in most instances.
This is Tony Bateen, and a rebound by Allen Iverson inside for the 76ers. Iverson is the number 4 scorer coming into tonight in the NBA. There's Eric Snow, picked up by Pierce. Screen by Thomas. And into Coleman. Nice, wide open. Greg Buckner, a play they worked on this morning in shoot-around.
Well, when you talk about injuries, if you look at Allen Iverson, Kevin, he's got about 5 different things wrapped up on his body right now. How much more can he be injured?
Well, next to Earl Boykins, he might be the lightest guy in the league, and he's leading the league in minutes played. Hasn't missed a game all year.
Nice entry pass from Paul Pierce into Tony Bateen.
That shows one of the weaknesses in the 76ers for what they're accustomed to having. They don't have a shot blocker or a guy in the back, and that's going to have its effect on them in the playoffs.
And it also shows a lack of respect, Coach, to the guys that they have. You know, there's so much attention on Walker and Pierce, and there's so much attention on Iverson.
Watch what Philadelphia does right here. A play they worked on extensively in pregame this morning.
Oh, screen and roll. There's 2 guys. That's just a major defensive breakdown. What Eric Williams is doing up there at the high post, I have no idea.
Particularly when you go to trap the high post from the corner.
Iverson just about had the steal, but Greg Buckner does, and a foul on Tony Delk. Iverson leads the NBA in steals. In fact, he has set a single-season Philadelphia 76er record. The foul goes on Delk for steals, breaking the old record held back in the mid-70s by Steve Nicks.
And that has a lot to do with his sudden burst of speed. He's so quick. But the true test will be for him to play defense and stay in front of his man, not just stealing in the passing lane.
Allen Iverson is 0 for 2 to start. Inside they go to Tony Bateen, circling around him 3 Sixer defenders, but Boston still ends up with it. Shot clock to 12 for Antoine Walker.
And Allen Iverson's got to be excited. Someone created a shot for him.
That's Paul Pierce who nails it. Paul Pierce comes into tonight the number 5 scorer in the NBA.
You know, looking at both of these teams, it's not an awful lot of height out there on the floor when you talk about the post position.
Here's Buckner. Lost it as he tried to whittle his way from the wing into the paint, and a foul is called, and they go on Tony Bateen. Greg Buckner is a 4th-year player out of Clemson who has had most of his NBA experience with the Dallas Mavericks. Former CBA player, and a guy that brings in some nice backup play to Keith Van Horn. Van Horn, as I mentioned before in Cheryl's report, out. Nice pass by Iverson. And here is the aforementioned Buckner. Rebound by Paul Pierce, Boston.
Well, Buckner had a great career at Clemson, and he's a good player for Larry Brown. But Monty Williams is another guy. He was penciled in as the starting small forward when the season started.
Paul Pierce has started 2 of 3 with 4 points in 3 minutes. The Celtics have a 4-point lead
Paul just took advantage of his size. I mean, he backed Snow under and just jumped over, and Snow was in great floor position, but he couldn't guard him high.
Philadelphia has started the game 1 of 4 from the field. This is Kenny Thomas, who came to this team in mid-December in a trade with Houston, a three-team trade with Denver and Houston. And Boston the other way. They're 3 of 5 to start from the field.
And he's been a monster. I mean, he's just getting double-double almost every night since he's come back from injury.
Antoine Walker hits his first shot tonight. 8-0 run by the Boston Celtics. The rebounding story right there is the Celtics are +4. Iverson 0 of 3. Paul Pierce, nice spin move inside by Paul Pierce, and he finds 2 at the game-high 6 points so far. Wow, that was sweet.
Well, and I love how he's attacking, too. He's not just settling. He's able to just get wherever he wants and just jump over Buckner for the shot. But right there, he goes through the double team. And again, no shot blocking from the weak side.
Well, actually, there was no help from the weak side, period. You know, and that's going to be definitely a problem.
You see Allen does a good job of slowing the ball down in transition until the big guy can come over and take Walker, match up correctly.
Pierce hits the free throw, completes the three-point play, and Greg Buckner picks up his first foul. With the Celtics on top by 9, this is their biggest lead tonight. And a timeout taken as you take a look at Larry Brown. Talk to him about that North Carolina job today. We'll talk to you about that when we come back. Boston on top, 11-2 over the Philadelphia 76ers.
So where should I play next year?
Where do you want to play next year? Because you have offers from Dallas, Toronto, Miami, and LA.
Tell me about LA.
Don't filter what you don't need. Keep what's good. MGD.
Chrysler designs are some of the most innovative on the road. Now for 2003, get values to match on Chrysler's Road to Value. Get a generous $3,000 cash allowance or 0% financing for 60 months on America's favorite convertible, the 2003 Chrysler Sebring, with comfortable seating for 4. Plus get our 770 powertrain limited warranty. Great products, great warranty, great deals. All add up to the best values in America. See your Chrysler dealer or visit Chrysler.com.
Are you a real fan? Want to be courtside?
Kid with a pass. Come on, guys.
Need a photo? Who's your favorite player? Searching for some numbers? Want to see the replay? Is that the game ball? Need some stuff? To experience the NBA live and to get the best seats of the hottest games, log on to NBA.com or America Online keyword NBA.com. What are you doing? Experience the NBA online. NBA.com.
Log on to SI.com for the latest NBA news, scores, and more from Sports Illustrated.
The NBA on TNT, brought to you by Miller Lite. Life is best told at a place called Miller Time. By Rent-A-Center. To get the best name brands like Sony, Whirlpool, Philips, Dell, and more, go to Rent-A-Center today. By Chili's. Get in, get out, get on with your life. And by Chrysler. Cars so beautifully designed and brilliantly engineered, you can't help falling in love.
The cop, the crook, the catch. Shall we say $4 million? A TNT world premiere movie. Rob Lowe and Sam Neill in Framed. See it Sunday night at 8 only on TNT.
We mentioned at the top of the show there are some injuries that this battered Philadelphia team is having to go through. Here's what they projected. Monty Williams, Tom McCulloch, along with Van Horn. Tonight, Greg Buckner, Coleman, and Thomas, a little bit different.
Well, what they really want going into the playoffs is they want Van Horn, Thomas, and Coleman. Those will be the 3 guys that'll start if they're healthy, and that's a good team.
Look at Larry Brown.
And I think McCulloch, too, is very important to them in terms of giving them bulk in the sides, particularly if this team is going to go far and end up playing against any Western team by any chance.
Boston is on an 11-0 run over the last 2 minutes and 45 seconds. They've hit 5 consecutive shots. Their biggest lead has been 9. Off the baseline driving and outside Buckner. Snow made the pass, and Buckner couldn't lasso it in a turnover for Larry Brown's Philadelphia 76ers.
See, you wonder how soon Allen will go solo now because they're getting behind 11-2, and he tends to get impatient and tries to take it over himself, which is not always the worst thing in the world either.
Allen has started 0-3. Paul Pierce 3 of 4, and this right there over the backboard and out of bounds. That's why you got an Allen Iverson. That's why he is the special player he is.
Well, and the most wise thing is sometimes not team basketball. If you've got a guy that's got extraordinary ability, sometimes you've got to let him go solo to jumpstart everybody else.
Well, right now, Allen's the only guy that's missing. He's 0 for 3. The other guys are 1 for 2, 3 combined totally. But I know what you're saying, and I agree.
He always misses. That doesn't matter. He still takes over.
And out of bounds, shot clock at 11, 7:12 to play in the first quarter. Look at Allen Iverson, who Larry Brown says, his coach says, he's having his best season as a pro.
That's because Larry thinks he's listening to him now.
I think Allen's just getting smarter. He's just more mature, just like every player gets at this stage of their career. He's been through a lot, and I think that Larry's less frustrated with him because Allen's starting to understand a lot of the things he's been trying to preach to him.
That was a nice pass by Iverson into Derek Coleman, who is also beaten up. He's got a bad knee and a bad hand. That field goal by Coleman breaks almost a 4-minute field goal drought by the 76ers.
Well, you're talking about Allen. I wonder how dumb he was when he took him to the finals.
That's right. Or won the MVP.
That's right.
Eric Williams with the miss. Rebound by Coleman. And here comes Snow. No one has hit a three-point shot in the game so far. Here's Buckner. And into Kenny Thomas, who has given this team some terrific games over the last couple of weeks. Rejected by Tony Battie. Knocked out of bounds. Shot clock at 7. Battie's got a bad hand too. Hurt it last night in Washington, so he is playing injured as well for the Celtics.
Well, everybody's getting injured at this time of the year. That amazes me, Danny. And these guys, talk about these injuries. As hard and as physical as these games are, everybody's going to have something wrong with them if they're playing hard. The only teams that don't have injuries are those that are going out in the playoffs because they loafed.
Someone is bleeding, and so they've got to take a look at the cut on. I guess Paul Pierce has got some blood on his shoulder. It's Jim O'Brien, the coach, in his second full season. Remember, he took over for Rick Pitino back in January 01. And the blood on one of the jerseys, I guess it's on Paul Pierce, is the reason why we got the break right now. Jim O'Brien grew up in Philadelphia. He was a 3-year starter at St. Joseph's in Philadelphia. So he obviously appreciates the brand of basketball they play there.
He's done a good job in Boston. And Antoine Walker and Paul Pierce should be kissing that guy every day, and the freedom that he gives them on offense.
That's exactly right.
You know, but we get getting back to Allen. I mean, Allen, he's got averaging 8 assists over the last 15 games, and he really is trusting his teammates. You can just see that a lot more than he has in the past, and without the second leading scorer, Van Horn.
Shot clock is at 4, and Snow with the miss. Rebound is vacuumed in by Walker. Neither team has made a substitution. And Walker galloping the other way, guarded by Kenny Thomas and doubled by Buckner. And now it swings from Pierce to Delk for 3. And that is the game's first 3-point hit.
Tony Delk is a great secondary scorer. He's not a point guard where he's going to create offense off initially, but he will be able to finish and make open shots. Had 53 points one game last year, or the year before with Phoenix, just playing off of the ball. That's amazing.
Here comes Boston with Paul Pierce working on Snow. Another 3, Antoine Walker.
They really rely on deep shots, boy. It is amazing. You got to definitely get some penetration, some post-up baskets.
Oh, that was a spectacular move. In fact, a series of moves by Allen Iverson, who puts in his first 2 points tonight for the Philadelphia 76ers.
And that's one of the advantages of not having a post-up player. The floor isn't locked, and Allen can utilize his speed a lot more in going through the middle, but it hurts him at the defensive end of the floor.
That's a foul on the guard guarding Kenny Thomas of Philadelphia.
Good screen right there by Derek Coleman. Does a good job. Derek Coleman, we talked about his physical ailments, but he plays with his head. He's one of the smartest guys out there, knows how to play. Saw Allen driving. Rather than creating space for himself to get the pass, just set a screen and occupy 2 people in the paint.
And I think he's going to have to show up very big for them to be successful, because Coleman is capable of playing inside as well as at the high post.
Here's Eric Williams, who takes it on the baseline and right to the defense. Now every starter has scored for Philadelphia. Tyrone Hill comes in for Thomas, who's out with the foul.
Well, that's why you wonder the Celtics wouldn't attack them more inside, because they do not have a shot blocker now. And Williams did that, and I think they should do that a lot more rather than those long jump shots.
Here's Buckner. Shot clock at 2 for Snow. And it's a 2-point shot.
And you look out there on that team, you got Greg Buckner and Snow and Coleman and Tyrone Hill. None of those guys are known for their offense. Coleman earlier in his career when he was more healthy. But Allen has to create offense.
No, exactly, and that's why I think that at times he gets frustrated, Danny. If it's not happening, he'll take over himself.
That's a second turnover by Boston. 2 apiece now for both teams.
Well, they come down in transition, and there's 3 guys running to the 3-point line. Nobody in the paint except Petit. Here comes Eric Williams overthinking coming to the ball, but that's what Delk should do. That's one guy on the team that should be spotting up for threes and taking whenever he's open.
The thing I don't understand, that even with the opening in, and you're right about the shooting, that there's no shot block. At least penetrate and pull the defense and throw it out.
Aaron McKee is in for the first time for Philadelphia. Rebounded by Pierce. Broken up by Allen Iverson, leading the league in steals, and Fultz in for 2.
That's what he's really good at, anticipating, looking to steal, and he can put space between himself and the guy that he steals the ball from in a minute.
Look at how much faster he could run if he pulls his pants up.
Eric Williams across the lane.
Another easy shot opportunity on goal, though. That is the weakness of the Sixers, is defending the basket.
To attack the basket, exactly.
Coleman into Walker with 3.5 to play in the first quarter. Allen Iverson. And Iverson has now hit 3 consecutive shots. And he's got 6 points after starting the game. 0 of 3, now 3 of 6. And a timeout taken by the Boston Celtics. Philadelphia is on a 6-0 run.
And it's amazing how easy it is to start making those jump shots when you get these kind of baskets right here. Good job. Again, leading the league in steals by a large margin over Doug Christie. And that makes the basket bigger.
The Celtics on top, 16-12 here in Boston tonight.
Playoff basketball, it's different than the regular season.
Over 40 games in 40 nights. TNT, exclusive home of the NBA Western Conference Finals. Win or go home. The drama of the NBA playoffs begins April 19th.
On TNT. Chrysler designs are some of the most innovative on the road. Now for 2003, get values to match on Chrysler's Road to Value. Get a generous $3,000 cash allowance or 0% financing for 60 months on America's favorite convertible, the 2003 Chrysler Sebring, with comfortable seating for 4. Plus get our 770 powertrain limited warranty. Great products, great warranty, great deals. All add up to the best values in America. See your Chrysler dealer or visit Chrysler.com.
Alex, there's something I want to ask you. Will you make a collect call by dialing down the center with 1-800-CALLATT? It's free for you and cheap for them. Can you get this? I forgot my wallet.
Save on every call. Dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
Chili's baby back ribs. To go. Get in, get out, get on with your life.
When I see great drama, I've been taken on a ride.
You have to find a way to make the audience want to go along with you and take that ride.
It's a roller coaster ride. We vicariously have given ourselves over.
Makes my blood pump a little bit stronger.
Your back's against the wall, it literally goes fast, fast, fast.
You can't wait to know what happens next.
And you get lost in the story of the characters that you're meeting on screen.
Drama is
life heightened.
Perfect couple.
Something's wrong. He knows.
That's not happiness to see me, is it?
A perfect plan.
What's 500 grand for?
Killing my wife.
A perfect twist.
And what happens if the plan goes to hell? It won't.
Cover your tracks with Michael Douglas and Gwyneth Paltrow in A Perfect Murder. Saturday night at 8 on TNT.
What if there were no tomorrow?
What does that mean?
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. San Antonio has taken over the lead in the Midwest from Dallas. Now the NBA.com question, who will win the Midwest? Will San Antonio hang on or will Dallas catch them? They play on the final night of the regular season in San Antonio. Now let's go back to a guy who did an outstanding job in Final Four on the radio. Kevin Harlan, and John Thompson as well. Well done, guys.
Oh, thank you, EJ. That was a lot of fun to be in New Orleans and watch Syracuse capture the national title. Remember now that the two division winners have slots 1 and 2, even though Dallas right now has a better record than the Sacramento Kings.
I like San Antonio. I picked San Antonio 2 weeks ago, and I'm sticking with them.
Why didn't I speak up first? I have to agree with you. San Antonio, I agree with you 100%.
Well, without Michael Finley playing too, that's a detriment. And they just had a tough schedule, 2 games against the Lakers. I think Dallas has to really focus on getting everybody healthy.
J.R. Bremer is checked in for the Boston Celtics along with Mark Blount, who is a 2-year player out of Pitt, joining Walker. And Walter McCarty is checked in the game, and he, of course, joins Paul Pierce. Another steal by Allen Iverson, his second of the game. Racing the other way, Hill, Coleman, Gonsalvins is in now, the player for the Philadelphia 76ers, a rookie out of Miami. Aaron McKee in there for Philly as well. Allen misses his first shot in the last 4. Rebound by Blount, a quick outlet to Pierce.
That was an example of what Larry Brown was talking about, though, Danny. In any other situation, Allen would have taken that shot against 3 guys.
Boston is +5 in rebounding so far. McKee down the lane, rejected by Blount, cleaned up by Coleman.
It's a great block, but Brock, nobody else on the Celtics team reacted to get the loose ball. Most of the rebounds are taken on the floor. They hustle things rather than jump things.
Here comes Boston shooting 7 of 14. Philadelphia is shooting 7 of 10 from the field. It's Pierce. Screened by Walker. Guarded by the rookie.
Look how open the middle is.
That's what Pierce was aiming for. In the corner, Walker for 3. Rebounded by Salmons. And ahead for McKee. Nice move by McKee to draw the foul out of Walter McCarty for Boston.
Right here, McKee does a good job. He doesn't have the same kind of lift he had before the injuries, but Blount does a good job. But where's the help? Where's the pursuit of the ball? Derek Coleman, with great instinct, does a good job getting the easy bucket.
Well, that's the thing that saves a team. I mean, if you're going to react to a guy who's making a big play, he needs a helper. And that's what the problem was just then. The guy blocks the shot and 4 other guys stand and watch.
And McKee hits the first free throw, a player who is averaging 9 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists off the bench, shooting 84% from the free throw line so far.
Both of these teams are very vulnerable to penetration, cutting through the middle, or dribbling, as well as posting up. Neither of these teams have good defensive shot blockers or defensive stoppers in the middle.
And we are tied at 16 after the Celtics led at one time by 10. Philadelphia's on a 10-0 run. It's McCarty. He loves that 3. Funny blow. Antoine Walker launching a 3. And the Philadelphia 76ers have had 2 threes by the Celtics on them. Philadelphia's 3-point defense not all that good.
Well, you know, that's hard to defend right there.
Right.
They got a guy that can beat you off the dribble and shoot deep 3-pointers, but, you know, they have no inside game when Anton's standing outside.
Bremer just picked up his first foul for Boston.
And they came out with their zone trap right here. They do a good job. They almost got a turnover, caught the Celtics off guard. Form a good trap still, but you know, Walker's the one guy out there that they really want to stop.
Allen tried to laser it down the lane, picked up by Bremer on the Philadelphia turnover. They now have 3. Boston has 4. Walker into Hill, and by Hill into Brian Skinner, who just checks in for the Sixers. And approaching a minute to play here in the first quarter.
At least Walker went in the right direction.
And Brian Skinner finds 2 inside.
Well, Walker's still complaining for the foul down at this end. In the meantime, they're scoring a lay-in at the other end. You know, complain when there's a dead ball, not when the other team's got the ball in their hands. But we see the versatility of Walker. Hits the 3-pointers, takes his man off the dribble. You put a guy like Tyrone Hill on him, he'll look to beat him more off the dribble, whereas Kenny Thomas, he was looking to shoot over the top.
Bremer had that deflected, and that goes out of bounds. Could be a deflection, I think.
Again, Allen draws so much attention. Beautiful find. Should have been a quarterback.
And they should be, boss. He was a high school quarterback.
And I threatened him in college if he ever attempted to even look at football.
Well, that Georgetown football team's pretty good, John.
Watch yourself, man. Watch yourself.
They did play football all the time, didn't they?
They still play football.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Right. It's a tradition. I told him one time, I saw him walking slowly past the football field. I said, now's the time to use your speed, son. Get away from here.
Well, let's see. There should be about 6 seconds left on the shot clock because that shot by Bremer was deflected, thus off a 76er, and goes sailing out of bounds. And sure enough, it'll be 6 seconds, and Boston will inbound.
Well, I think the 76ers feel that they can put pressure on Bremer outside. That's why Larry went to that zone press, probably just to change up a little bit, too.
Bremer got a screen from Blount, missing it. Oh, and it goes in on the great bounce. That's a Danny Ainge bounce.
Oh, that wasn't even close on the shot. That was a leprechaun bounce right there. Bremer hit a big shot last night, winning the game in Washington, clinching the playoffs.
And Iverson nails one right there, and Allen Iverson has put an 8 here in the first quarter. And Philadelphia does have a foul to give with 20 seconds to play in the first quarter. Bremer with the ball.
In fact, Bremer had 20 points last
night. He looked good. He was 8 of 12 from the field. A bunch of threes. They trapped Bremer. Shot clock at 4. Wheeling down the lane with Iverson on his tail. And picked up, and Brown hits it. That's Kendrick Brown. And the other way, buzzer sounds. They will not get a shot off. And Allen Iverson, who began the game 0 of 3, finishes 4 of 8. He has 8 points, 2 steals, 2 assists in the first 12 minutes of the game, and giving us one dazzling move after another. The former MVP of the NBA brings the Sixers back. Celtics after 124-20, right here on TNT.
There's only 2 ugly people in the world, and your mama's both of them.
You know, your mama's so fat, she stepped on the dollar and made change.
I heard your mama's so ugly, she robbed the bank with no gun, just stuck her head over the counter and say, put that money in that bag. Stick 'em up. Stick 'em up. Timing was a little off.
Oh, timing was a little off. Timing was way off.
You're not funny.
Tell it over a great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
It's as colorful as the world around you. Introducing the Color Solution Center, only at the Home Depot. It's more than a store. It's a new and easier way to match or find a complement for any color you can imagine. It's Ralph Lauren, Behr, Glidden, and Disney in the largest paint color palette in America. Come see the brand new Color Solution Center, only at the Home Depot. You can do it. We can help.
Intense, isn't it? For in-your-face home theater action, come to Best Buy. From Sony Plasma TVs to Bose Surround Sound, we'll help find the system that's right for you. Get into the action at Best Buy.
Chrysler designs are some of the most innovative on the road. Now for 2003, get values to match on Chrysler's Road to Value. Get a generous $3,000 cash allowance or 0% financing for 60 months on America's favorite convertible, the 2003 Chrysler Sebring, with comfortable seating for 4. Plus get our 770 powertrain limited warranty. Great products, great warranty, great deals. All add up to the best values in America. See your Chrysler dealer or visit Chrysler.com.
From the network that knows drama, The Cop.
Cops all over the world are looking for Eddie Myers, and I'm the one who got lucky.
The Crook.
And what if I offer you something?
The Catch.
Shall we say $4 million?
Sunday night, time is running out in a TNT world premiere movie.
You betrayed me, Eddie. We betrayed each other.
Rob Lowe and Sam Neill in Frame. See it Sunday night at 8 only on TNT. We know drama.
Welcome back to Boston. Exclusive coverage on Thursday night of the NBA on TNT. 24-20. Boston is led by as many as 10. And 4 lucky Celtic fans are seated on the TNT fan bench. Hey, the only way to watch the NBA on Thursdays is tickets or TNT. Moments ago here in the FleetCenter, they announced that the Celtics are going to retire another uniform number. That's number 31 of Cedric Maxwell. And Danny, he joins a pretty illustrious group of retired numbers that hang from the rafters here in Boston.
All I could say is it's about time. He was a great player. He was the MVP of the 1981 championship series. And a quick story, 1984, Game 7, Los Angeles Lakers in the Boston Garden. He gets us together at halftime in the tunnel before we come out on the floor. It says, "Hop on my back, boys. I'm taking you to the promised land." He really wanted to go at James Worthy because he felt he was the best player from North Carolina, not James Worthy. And he went at James, scored 15 points in the fourth quarter of Game 7.
Well, I think Philadelphia may retire that number 3 of Allen Iverson eventually. Iverson comes up with the steal to begin the second quarter and puts it in for 2. He has got a game-high 10, only player in double figures on either team. We start the second quarter with Grant Long feeding J.R. Bremer out there at Pierce and McCarty with the ball. And this is Paul Pierce, who has 9 now. Pierce has started the game 4 of 7. The other Celtic out there is Kedrick Brown. John Salmons remains on the floor for Philadelphia with Skinner, Iverson, Kenny Thomas, and Aaron McKee with the ball. Here's Allen Iverson.
And I like this kid, Kedrick Brown. I'm surprised he doesn't play more. I think that he could really fit in. He's got a great future ahead of him.
That goes up about 15 rows in the stands.
He's throwing that to the concession stand.
And this is why Paul Pierce is such a great player, because, you know, it's like Allen Houston, except he's about an inch or 2 taller. There's nothing that Aaron McKee can do about that except try to strip him on the way up. You got to put a taller guy on him, and most taller guys in Pierce have a tough time of containing him off the dribble.
Here's Pierce over Thomas, and they've been partially deflected and goes out of bounds.
You really have to put a lot of pressure on the Celtics, though, outside, because very seldom are they even looking to cut through the middle or penetrate. They rely so heavily on the jump shot, it's predictable what they're doing.
Philadelphia would play the Celtics if the playoffs were to start tonight. Philadelphia number 3 in the Eastern Conference. Boston is number 6. Another Philadelphia turnover. Here comes Kedrick Brown. The other way for Boston.
A lot of uncaused turnovers in this game.
Walter McCarty missing a 3. Kenny Thomas was shoved by Long and snatches the rebound for Philadelphia with Salmons, the rookie from Miami who grew up in Pennsylvania. Feeding on the wing to McKee, slashes inside and tries to find some kind of crack to go through, and Pierce knocked it away, and Paul Pierce picks up the foul as you see the scoring leader so far for the Boston Celtics.
Well, most of those came from jump shots from the outside very deep. Very seldom are they looking to try to penetrate or post up in any fashion. If they're on, that's fine. But if they get in the game in a tough situation, need some easy baskets, you're not even getting them off a transition.
And Tony Petit will take the place of Walter McCarty. And Cheryl Miller, what do you have?
Well, Kevin, I just got off the phone with Craig Miller, the Assistant Executive Director of USA Basketball. He confirmed that the selection committee did meet today and that Allen Iverson was extended an invitation to be a part of the Olympic team. The next step, obviously, is Iverson has to complete his paperwork. Then it will be official. But Craig Miller really did emphasize that that AP report that was unconfirmed did not come from USA Basketball, guys.
And nothing about O'Neal, I take it, about Jermaine O'Neal? We'll have to find out that part of the story as well. Brown on top, Paul Pierce launching a 3. Rebound by Grant Long, the veteran Long. And on top to Pierce as McKee, a pretty good defensive player, and outside it goes. Bremer for 3. That's right between the eyes.
See, and that was just a penetration to bait the 76ers to help out.
Hold on.
And I'm just wondering.
And here comes Salmons. 9.5 to play in the half here in the FleetCenter in Boston. Another sellout for the Celtics. Aaron McKee. Pierce was late in his defense and out of bounds. Off of Philly.
I think McKee's a real key for the Sixers getting back to the level that they were the finals team and winning the Eastern Conference. You know, he was such a special player, sixth man of the year. He's had some injuries to his feet, which is critical, but man, they need him back at that level, I think.
Well, I like his aggressiveness because he can hit the jump shot, but he's not afraid to go to the basket strong. They need it as much as the Celtics because they don't have really a legitimate post-up guy in there to have an effect.
Go inside to Bremer. Snow is on him. Good screen by Battie. The mismatch on Skinner. Pierce tries to exploit as he goes slithering in and is called for the travel. That's the 6th turnover by the Boston Celtics and 5 so far for Philadelphia.
Well, with the agility of a guy like Pierce, if he mixed a little bit more of his penetration, you know, they're threatened by him because he's so quick and they back off of him. They give him the jumper though.
Skinner checks out. Garrett Coleman comes in for the Philadelphia 76ers. 9 minutes to play in the second quarter. Iverson against Bremer. Key picked up by Brown. Shot clock at 7. Eric Snow. Snow banks that one in. He's got 4. Snow had a great stretch, Danny, between the middle of February and the middle of March, averaging almost 17 points a game during those 30 days.
And that's amazing. You know, Eric Snow came into the league with no offensive game whatsoever and done a great job of improving his game. He's worked very hard on his game. His jump shot's coming around, and Larry Brown and Allen Iverson have a great deal of trust in him.
Kedrick Brown just picked up a foul for Boston. Celtics by 4. We take a break. Well, these are the teams looking for that coveted 4th position because 4th place and up means home court to begin the first round of the playoffs. Minnesota's never been there. Lakers have basically lived among those first 4 teams. Portland right now with a slim half-game lead over 1 and a game over the Lakers for that position.
And a big game tonight for Sacramento and LA. LA could get to that 4th spot, like you said, Kevin, and the Sacramento still has an outside shot at catching San Antonio. So big game at the top of the rivalry, and all the emotions will be flying tonight.
Here comes Philadelphia. They are shooting 47% from the field. It's McKee and over. Eric Williams nails it outside. Aaron McKee off the bench now has 5. Most of his points have come from the stripe. And Boston the other way, they're shooting 46% from the floor.
That's that Aaron McKee I'm talking about right there. Face up and stroke the jumper.
It's Walker against Thomas. Okay, Thomas, one of the more underrated forwards in the NBA. He throws it away. A 4th steal for Allen Iverson. Flips it. Rejected by Pierce, who goes colliding with Iverson and a foul called. No, just a great play and no foul called. And count the 2, and Philadelphia ties the game at 29.
They caught goals in it.
Oh, okay. Well, no, they have to put the 2 on there, though.
Yeah, defensive goaltending on Paul Pierce.
Right.
Another steal by Iverson.
Williams. Pierce. And off the fingertips of Antoine Walker.
No wonder they don't post up much.
Right.
A lot of standing around by the Celtics.
A whole lot of
possession before, you know, they give it to Antoine Walker and he dribbled about 17 times and then turned it over as he drove to the basket. And that time it's just isolation. 3 guys standing in the parking lot. 2 guys playing basketball.
Iverson on the perimeter. Paul Pierce got a hand on it.
I'm sorry, John.
Go ahead.
I just like Philadelphia, the way that Larry Brown coaches his team. The way they move the ball, the way they space, there's always bodies moving.
Well, that's what I was going to say about Allen. I can really see what Larry was saying. He definitely is looking for his teammates a lot more as opposed to just looking for his own shot.
And Williams picks up a foul on McKee as he takes it from the wing. Did you read the story in the Boston Globe about Eric Williams, how he is almost blind in one eye? He has peripheral vision, but he can't look straight ahead, and it goes back to his college days when he was hit in the eye during a college game at Providence, and that's a missed shot by Iverson. So he has been able to adapt, and he just has never had surgery to correct the problem.
You know, I think that same thing was the problem with Kevin McHale. I think he was blind in one eye. He never passed it out of the double team.
I can name about 50 people. But they didn't know it.
Tony Battie working on Derek Coleman. Rebound by Thomas. And the rebounding in this game finds Boston +4 so far. There's not a lot of sizzle in this game thus far. I'm surprised. It's kind of dead inside the FleetCenter as McKee finds Thomas, who tried to go up and was fouled on the play.
Well, again, you can see the differences of the offenses. I mean, Philly has the floor space that everybody's catching and going. There's not any holding or just dribbling in place. Everybody's involved in the offense. It looks like they're having fun playing the game.
Second foul called on Tony Battie. Cheryl, what do you have?
Kevin, I'm really sorry about that. In my excitement, I forgot to tell you about Jermaine O'Neal as well. He was offered and extended an invitation to be a part of the 2004 Olympic team. And again, much like Iverson, he has to do the paperwork, and then it will become official.
Right. You know, it's going to be a different experience, John, for these Olympians. No longer will they have the glamorous, luxurious hotels and the various venues. They're going to have to stay with the rest of the athletes in the Olympic Village.
It'll be totally different, and that's really a very difficult commitment that they make in doing that, because these guys come out for the big season. But I'm wondering what all this paperwork stuff is about.
Well, I don't know, but Jermaine O'Neal came right out of high school. He might have a tough time with that paperwork.
Oh, it's a terrible thing to say. That's a terrible thing to say. A very bright young man. He's not going to have any trouble with the paperwork.
This is Philadelphia's second lead of the game. Walker across the lane.
I know he won't have trouble with it. I'm just joking.
Here comes Snow.
The one thing I know is you will not be the PR guy.
Boy, no kidding, John. Well said. Iverson lost a nice defense by Plum. Walker, they got some numbers. That's picked off by McKee.
Oh, that is terrible by the Celtics.
Boston has their 6th turnover of the quarter, the 10th of the game. Tapped in and out by Thomas. Picked up by Paul Pierce. About 5.5 to play in the half, and we're still at 30-29 Philadelphia with their second lead of the game. As Pierce goes into a big bear hug of Derek Coleman. What you said?
Don't ask him to.
He's horrible. McKee just picked up his first foul as the Celtics lead by 1.
Motorcycle financing can have a funny way of changing on you when you don't expect it. So keep your eyes open and get a straight deal that doesn't change with financing that's as solid as a Honda. 0 down payment, 0 payments for the first 3 months, and lock in a low 6.9% fixed APR for up to 5 years on any new Honda motorcycle, scooter, personal watercraft, or ATV. Monthly payments that don't change. That's a straight deal. And right now, get up to $300 in bonus bucks on select models at your local Honda dealer today.
This weekend, it all leads up to the world premiere of Framed. Friday night at 8, get caught up in the affair with Pierce Brosnan and Rene Russo in the Thomas Crown Affair. Saturday night at 8, resist temptation with Michael Douglas, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Viggo Mortensen in A Perfect Murder. And Sunday night at 8, don't miss Rob Lowe and Sam Neill in the world premiere of the TNT original Framed. Friday night, The Thomas Crown Affair. Saturday night, A Perfect Murder. And Sunday night, Framed. It all starts this weekend only on TNT. We know drama.
From the network that knows drama.
His name is Julius Caesar!
I don't know who I can trust.
What did they tell you?
You betrayed me. We betrayed each other.
TNT. We know drama.
The NBA on TNT, brought to you by Hyundai. Your car comes with America's best warranty. You win. Hyundai. And UPS. Commerce synchronized. What can Brown do for you?
I think, whenever you beat somebody in the playoffs, you're going to have that psychological edge. I mean, Philadelphia dominated us during the regular season last year, and going into the playoffs last year, we're like, man, is this a team that we can beat?
Paul Pierce is on fire! Pierce. Every chamber is filled for Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce has put in a jaw-dropping performance. We can hardly wait for the playoffs to start here on TNT. We'll see a lot of Paul Pierce, who tonight leads his Boston Celtics in every category of 11 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. The former Kansas Jayhawk, Paul Pierce, and into the grasp of Syracuse alum Derek Coleman, and of course those two play for the national championship on Monday. With Syracuse winning.
Well, the reason Coleman caught him is that Syracuse won the game.
That's right. Otherwise, he'd have dropped him like a potato.
And Carmelo Anthony is the real deal.
Isn't he sweet? How about that Jerry McNamara kid, that freshman from Scranton, Pennsylvania? He was author of 6 3-point hits in that first half.
No fear.
He was terrific.
The kid Sweetney, though, from Georgetown, announced that he's coming out today, and I think he should be right up there in the top 3 or 4 picks as well.
Derek Coleman nails it. Derek Coleman played in the Final Four back in '87 for the Orangemen, Coach Jim Boeheim. They lost that one. Williams picked up by Snow. Pierce into Walker, operating with 3 defending Sixers, and Eric Williams nails a 3-point shot.
But just by the fact that Walker went in there to pull the 3 guys in, they took a lot of pressure off of getting it out for the guy to get the easy outside jumper. And they haven't been doing that. Everything they've been doing has been from the perimeter.
Celtics have led by as many as 10. Iverson's 12 leading the Philadelphia 76ers. Pierce's 12 leading the Boston Celtics. And he got a turnover right there.
The thing I love about Iverson, he's got 5 steals already.
Yeah.
So quick.
And that's what he loves to do. He loves to anticipate because of both the speed that he has and going out through the passing lanes. The other thing it does, it gives you an opportunity to get down to get the 3 easy baskets.
Iverson just picked up a foul. And that's the first on him. Coleman has taken off. Remember, he is injured. We talked about that before. He's got a left thigh and a left hand injury that he's been battling. I think he's been banged up his entire career. Coleman.
I don't think he's ever not been injured in the last few years.
Antoine Walker jousting with Hill. Here's Paul Pierce. And a game high 14 for Paul Pierce, 6 of 11 to start the game for the All-Star from Kansas.
He's so much longer than Buckner. It's such a great feeling to shoot when you know that the guy guarding you has no chance to block your shot.
Here's Iverson. And Craig Buckner for 2. Rebound by Walker. Rebounding +5 for the Boston Celtics so far in this game.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I wonder why they haven't been trying to do that more. They seem to, Brian probably told them to post up and penetrate because every time they go to the basket, they get something out of it rather than just totally staying with those long jump shots.
Kenny Thomas just picked up his 2nd personal foul. And here's Antoine Walker at the free throw line, who is 60%.
That's awful.
Yeah, that's horrible.
I mean, this guy shoots. I was watching him shoot before the game. I saw him make 15 free throws in a row just with a shooting coach out there. I mean, it's obviously got to be mental. He's got a nice shooting stroke. But 60% as many times as he goes to the line, and he's only shooting 38% from the field. And there's something wrong with your offense or with something, the people around you or Antoine himself, to have those kind of shooting percentages of a player of that quality.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I definitely think that he needs to post more and penetrate more because he's so agile, he can get there.
What a crossover by Allen Iverson! It was a mesmerizing play, and Iverson has 14 for Philadelphia. That stops a 7-0 run by the Boston Celtics, and here comes Boston, shooting 40% from the field. 40% shooting as well for Philly.
That was sweet and dry.
That was nice. Pierce against Snow. Dumping it back to Walker for three. Walker. So the Celtics have gone 6 of 12 shooting threes, and Philadelphia has not hit a three all night long. And the Celtics have an 8-point lead.
Oh, we talked about Allen in football right here. You know, you see him in the open court, but there he's a short yardage back finishing at the rim.
Great play by Iverson. On Friday night, April 18th on TNT, which will give you a nice look. Couple good series right off the bat. This Phillies 76er Boston Celtics series would be fun. And New Jersey, Orlando at 2-7, Danny, would be fun to watch as well.
Yeah, there will be a lot of, I'll tell you what, the East is wide open. Look at Paul Pierce. He's just taking the matchups. But the one on Buckner, he's just been able to shoot jump shots over him. Buckner and Snow have done a good job of stopping his penetration, but he can just elevate over them anytime he wants.
Monty Williams is checked in now for Philadelphia. He is playing injured as well with the knee. Allen Iverson dumps it off to Tyrone Hill. Shot clock at 7. Allen Iverson. Rebound by Paul Pierce. Celtics have led by as many as 10, John.
That might have been the first three-point field goal attempt that the 76ers have taken.
Well, they went to the zone, John. You know, you could see it right when Allen caught the ball in the wing. They were just playing a flat-out zone. They're going to just dare Buckner, Monty Williams, Tyrone Hill to shoot the ball from the outside.
And Monty Williams picks up his first personal foul of the game for Philadelphia. Cheryl, what do you have?
Well, Kevin, health continues to be a major issue with Philly. Derek Coleman has almost had like a laundry list of ailments, left the game with a strained left quad. He is questionable for the second half.
And I know they didn't want to use Monty Williams tonight, but they're out of bodies. They got to use somebody. Here's Blount. And Eric Williams, shot clock at 4. Snow is all there. And Pierce over Buckner. Rebound by Eric Snow.
A good job right there by Buckner. That was a close he's gotten his hand to the ball on the release from Paul Pierce.
Here's Buckner picked up by Williams. Under 2 to play in the half. And Williams over Blount. Rebound, Tyrone Hill, who they picked up off waivers a couple months ago, and he got the foul out of the defending Celtics. Upcoming games of the national TV schedule. The second foul just went on Paul Pierce. Tomorrow night, ESPN, 8 Eastern. Orlando taking on Indiana, and the Golden State Warriors against Phoenix. 2 good games right there. Saturday on NBA TV, Boston against Orlando. And then on ABC at 3:30 Eastern time on Sunday, the Los Angeles Lakers against Portland. That's a huge game for the 4, 5, and 6 slots. Portland, Minnesota, and LA in those respective positions right now in the West.
That is a very huge game because there's no tiebreaker. 2-1, Lakers lead that series. That's going to be a fantastic game. Where's NBA TV anyway? I was looking for that this weekend.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, it's in all the homes. And here's a missed free throw picked up by Iverson, who slithers inside. The reverse layup won't go. Rebound by Hill. And a fresh 24 on the shot clock for the Philadelphia 76ers. We come in 15 games over 500. Iverson knifing his way through. Allen Iverson with another dazzling play.
Well, that is just amazing how a guy of that size can get through all of those big guys like that, and particularly with a sore left knee. You know, it's just amazing that he even attempts to do it and not be afraid of getting hit.
16 points for Iverson. 8 have come in this second quarter. And outside, a long three-point attempt will not go down. It was missed by Tony Delk, who is splitting point guard minutes now with rookie J.R. Bremer out of St. Bonaventure. Under a minute to play in the first half. The dazzling Iverson again tries to take it inside, and followed by Kedrick Brown.
You know, he's amazing. Gosh. You know, all these other ailments, we keep talking about all these other guys. This guy's ailments are legitimate. But look at this. He's everywhere. Stealing the ball, all over the place on defense, where he leads the league. In the open court, he's one of the most unstoppable guys of all time. And in the half court, he does the same thing. But this great steals. 5 steals already in the first half. Into the free throw line, shooting the outside shot. He's doing everything for this team, you guys. And, you know, there wasn't a lot of talk up until the last few weeks about Allen Iverson as an MVP candidate, but he's definitely got to be a candidate the way he's carried this team the second half of the season.
Johnny won a couple years ago in the 0-1 season for Philadelphia, the MVP that is, and he brings Philly now to within 3 with under a minute to play in the first half.
Well, not only MVP, there wasn't a lot of talk about him being on the Olympic team.
Yeah, right.
And I thought that was absolutely ridiculous, really.
We were laughing this morning at practice. He looks like he's about 100 years old at 10 o'clock this morning.
Well, he's got 5 bandages. If you count the one he's got around his head, it's 6.
And that's the most important one right there.
Walker missing the shot. What a foul. And a foul is inside. It's on the Boston Celtics, and Blum picks up his first. Coming up at halftime, Magic Johnson is back in studio with EJ, Kenny the Jet, and Sir Charles. We're going to talk about the playoffs and do their plotting and planning. Then they'll get a preview from the Kings-Lakers game in Los Angeles. And here comes Monty Williams to the free throw line. Iverson, again, talking about him this morning, Johnny. He gets up, and we were talking about how he has matured. This is his seventh season, and he has now just taken really a leadership role, maybe for the first time. He always said, well, Eric, you do this, you do that, and it was a lot of snow, but now it's a lot of AI.
Well, and I laugh at people who talk about his maturation process. Most players mature more as they get further into the league. Certainly he has done that, and obviously he and Larry are having better communication with each other.
Well, he's had to carry an awful huge burden on that Sixer franchise with a lot of expectations, tough media city, and he hasn't had a great cast of characters around him ever.
Mark Plump missing right there. Philadelphia's on a 6-0 run. Fouls no way either give for the remaining seconds of this first half. Snow into Williams, crashing his way in the lane, and a foul.
Remember last year when we saw that elbow? The thing was the size of a softball. Today, that knee, the thing was huge. I mean, he's not just wearing bandages for show out there. I mean, those are legit. Well, except for that headband.
Well, the thing that I really like about Allen, too, everybody talks about his field goal attempts and his selfishness, but the one thing I know, he takes his scoring for granted because he's so confident, but he's definitely is not a happy camper if he loses. He wants to win all of the time.
Snow hits his first. You know what surprised people, I think, about Iverson is that he already ranks in the top 5 in the all-time scoring average in the history of the NBA at over 27 points a game.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely the best guard that's ever put on a 76er uniform. Hal Greer might have something to say about that.
I think he would.
That's my...
Eastern Conference, we talked about all the jockeying on top. What about near the bottom where Milwaukee holds that 2.5 game advantage over Washington?
They're done. Let's just get rid of them. They're out.
And thus Michael Jordan can't bring the team to the playoffs in his last 2 years in the NBA.
No, it's a great story, Michael coming back, but they can't make it. Matter of fact, they're even playing the young guys a lot of minutes. Kwame Brown had a nice game last night, but I don't see how that they're going to get in. I think last night was huge loss that clinched their demise.
Well, the game with Atlanta also was really a tough loss. Well, all of them probably right now, but I definitely agree with you about Michael. He definitely needs to be commended on what he did do in coming back.
Yeah, a lot of guys. He's 40 years old. I don't know if the league has ever seen someone that old play at such a high level, and he should finish his career as he began this 2-year stint with the Wizards as the all-time leading scorer in terms of average points per game over Wilt Chamberlain.
Well, there's a couple guys that I got to give a lot of credit to, and that's Stockton and Malone.
Yeah.
Those two guys are the same age Michael, older than Michael, still doing it, and they never took seasons off. They don't even take games off.
Tony Kelp with a second to play in the first half. And Snow, good if it goes, and a little bit short. That takes us to halftime. And the Celtics, who led by 10, have a 1-point lead, 44-43 at the half. Philadelphia closes the quarter on a 9-2 run. They were very happy with their win over Detroit earlier this week and playing a tough Boston team here in Beantown tonight. Let's go to Cheryl Miller.
Paul, it just seems like you got 14 points right now. It just seems like you always play extremely well against Philadelphia. What is it about them that you're able to exploit?
Well, I think I'm a big problem. I'm pretty big on the inside, and I got good quickness, and it's tough for them to match up with me with my length, and they have to play smaller guys on me. They play bigger guys on me, I can go right by them.
You said the last 5 games that the team is really playing better defense, more consistent. What did you like the effort in the first half?
Yeah, I did. I liked our efforts defensively, offensively. We got to keep our turnovers down, rebound the ball, and we'll be in good shape.
Good luck in the second half. I'll send it back to you, Kevin.
All right, Cheryl and Ernie Johnson down in Atlanta. Here's my stat of the game for you coming in. Of the 8 teams in the Eastern Conference bound for the playoffs, only Boston, only the Celtics lack 3 players averaging double figures. On Boston, it's only Antoine Walker and Paul Pierce. Celtics by 1. Let's go to you in Atlanta.
Thank you very much, Kevin. I don't know what I would do without Kevin's stat of the night.
I want to know what I'd do without Kevin not mentioning the rest of his elite company that you have here.
What's up with that tie you got, too?
You know what? And this is unplanned. You know what's great about that?
Ain't nothing great about that tie.
That's the tie you bought him? He bought you?
Can you zoom in on this?
What's it say?
A Magic Johnson tie.
Oh, that's a Magic Johnson tie.
What is he doing to you?
You know what? That was a while ago.
I know. I brought it out for the special occasion because we have awards tonight later on. So I didn't think I was going to be able to talk about it until Charles brought it up. So anyway, it's the Verizon.
That's been 1983, though. He's still wearing
in honor of Magic.
1983.
When have you seen this?
Why don't you make some Magic and make it disappear?
In ages. He can't do that to you, man.
Yeah.
By the way, this is
he's smart enough not to wear it.
Verizon
Have you ever seen him wear that tie?
Verizon Wireless halftime. I did it because Magic's here tonight.
He's smart enough not to wear that, though.
Anyway, where were we? 44-43 games, Celtics leading the Sixers. We are so pumped about playoff time coming up. And what is fun about this time of the year is when you can look at these standings and say, well, you think Detroit is going to hang on to that top spot? You think New Jersey might catch him? Detroit's got the season series over New Jersey 2-1. And how about Philadelphia? Can they catch him? And Indiana, what a bizarre stretch it's been for them since the All-Star break, still hanging in there with the number 4 spot right now. Now we go through 5 through 9. New Orleans playing some of the best ball in the East since the All-Star break. Boston, Orlando, Milwaukee on the brink of clinching the final playoff spot.
I can't believe y'all got the Wizards on the board.
Because while they're still in there and there's mathematically still a chance, Charles, mathematically there's still a chance.
Ain't no way.
And anyway, it's a magic number of 1. So who is the best team in the Eastern Conference as it stands right now? If you had to say, you know what, here's the team that's going to come out of the East, Magic, who is it?
I'm going to say New Jersey. I just think that when you look at offense, defense, you look at transition basketball, they're still the best at that. They get easier baskets than any other team in the East. And I look at them coming out of the East.
Chuck?
I picked the same 2 teams from day one, Indiana and New Jersey. And,
you have to pick one now.
It's been going back and forth the whole year, but I haven't swayed at all. It's going to be Indiana, New Jersey. If I had to
sway one way and pick one of those teams.
Well, I got to wait and see what Mutombo is giving me. Because he is the big X factor. If Mutombo does not contribute, I like Indiana, but it just depends on what they get from.
Well, let me go with a dark horse.
Mutombo, Jock John.
I'll go with a dark horse, and that's Philadelphia. Because in a 7-game series, what happens? A great player like Allen Iverson, he can get on a 35 to 40 point 4-game series on you. So you have the series tied, and all of a sudden for 4 games, this guy gives you 40 points, 37 points. He's the kind of guy that could get his team back to the NBA final.
No love for the team leading the East Pistons right now on the panel. When we come back,
I kept it added up.
We'll run down the Western playoff picture.
If Allen Iverson
and look ahead to game 2. Hey, look at Chris Webber has arrived.
If Allen Iverson gets 37 points, you add those rest of the guys up, they get 57 by the end of the game.
And there's Kobe.
Kobe's kind of slick.
Yeah, the red.
Thanks for the math.
I might go red one.
Serious hang time. Very serious. Do you know how I get up for my game? Do you know? That's right. Air Jordan, Air Jordan, Air Jordan. Mike, what's up? Oh, money. Why you want to do that to me? Why you leave me hanging? Come on. I got it. Oh, Mike, man.
This coverage begins on the 19th, but we have a preview on the 18th, Friday the 18th. Okay, here we go. Playoff picture of the
The
West.
Mavericks crashing.
San Antonio claiming the lead in the Midwest.
What's that?
Dallas crashing.
That's outstanding sound effects, courtesy of Charles. I can just lose this thing over here to my right. Sacramento has already won the Pacific, and we'll see them later tonight taking on the Lakers. 4 through 6. Lakers could move up to 4. What do you think, Magic?
They're playing very well. The role players are playing outstanding right now.
They had a win earlier this week when Devin George led them with 21 and Ori had 17, while Shaq and Kobe had 14. 7 through 9. Utah.
The big game is Portland, the Lakers and the Portland this weekend.
On Sunday, and that's in Portland. Houston,
I think that was over the Rockets. I think the Suns will get in. I do think the Suns will get in.
And they're dangerous. Phoenix is dangerous.
Well, I think they're dangerous. I think it's a bad matchup for them against San Antonio. I think that's the worst case scenario for the Suns. Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
Who else? I mean, if you don't want to play somebody in the first round, you can't use the Lakers.
Well, you can't.
I think
San
Minnesota.
Antonio.
I think Minnesota is one of them dangerous teams because Kevin is playing well.
Do they have to have home court though?
This year, I don't think so. They're playing better on the road.
Well, it depends on who they're playing, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, but it's going to move around with the Lakers. If the Lakers slide into 4, it's going to really cause a lot of problems out there.
It's amazing that he did the crashing, but it's amazing that the Dallas Mavericks have led basically the whole way.
Yeah.
And no one has ever said that they would win it. I can't remember one station, not even in Dallas. I've been through Dallas. I haven't heard anyone say the Mavericks will win it or come out of the West.
The Dallas, they got a good team. Yeah. They're fun to watch, but they play zero defense. They remind me of me.
and no low post threat.
Yeah.
Without that, you can't win in the playoffs.
You can't win.
That's why Detroit can't win in the East. You need low post
easy baskets
and people who are going to put that other team in foul trouble. That's who wins playoff games.
Meantime, game 2 of our doubleheader is coming up a little bit later tonight. The Redcoats are coming. The Redcoats are coming.
Can I see that? Why did I say that? Can I see that? Kobe. That's when you know you're a good player when you can wear that.
That's right.
If he got red pants on, he wrong though.
No, he ain't got on red pants. His bodyguard dresses just like him.
Usher, man, he had a vent in the back. Usher got a vent in the back. That was an ugly jacket.
Third quarter is coming up from Boston.
We're having.
Back to Boston, an exclusive coverage of the NBA on TNT. The Celtics by 1. And again, Paul Pierce of Boston has proven to be a thorn in the 76ers side.
I'm an aggressive player. I like to get to the basket. Usually when we play against teams who don't have a legitimate shot blocker in there, I'm even more aggressive in getting to the paint. Philly is a tough inside team, but no legitimate shot blocker since we can't be able to tumble enough, so I'm able to get into the lane a little bit more, get contact, and get more points on the inside.
He's got 14 points so far in this first half. He's averaging well over 20 points a game. A terrific player to watch. We've seen some great matchups already. Iverson is filling the bill for Philadelphia. This is going to be a very nice playoff series if these two teams stay together 3-6 in the Eastern Conference.
Well, like we've talked about, Philly better get healthy, and they need some help for Allen. I mean, they're going to just clamp down on Allen even more and more, but I do like how they're moving, but someone's got to step up and start making some shots for them.
Well, and the one thing that he's doing, and I can understand what Larry is saying, Danny, is that he's not pressing anymore. Allen knows that he's going to get his attempts, and he's not trying to get them all right away now. He's passing around, taking shots later in the shot clock as opposed to rushing it early, and that's a great sign.
Let's take a look at our Jeep halftime summary with some of the numbers, both about the same from the field except for the three-point shooting of Boston. Of course, they lead the league in attempts and made three-point shots. The free throw difference you can see right there. Iverson with 18, Pierce with 14. And let's send it over to Cheryl Miller.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. I just spoke to Coach Brown. Derek Coleman will not return. He says it's going to be absolutely critical in the second half that Tyrone Hill and Kenny Thomas stay on the floor, stay out of foul trouble. And Danny, as you mentioned, someone else needs to step up and give Allen Iverson some help. I asked Coach Brown how he felt about Allen making the Olympic team, or at least getting the invitation. He absolutely said he is thrilled. It's about time. He said he deserves it. He's worked extremely hard and couldn't be prouder.
Well, I totally agree with that, and I think the guy that's got to step up in the second half to help is Kenny Thomas. Kenny Thomas has 1 point.
He just picked up his 3rd foul. Out there for the Boston Celtics, Eric Williams inbounding. Tony Battie, Delk, Pierce, who's got the ball on a pass from Antoine Walker. And over Snow, Pierce can't hit it. Rebound by Kenny Thomas. We just talked about him. Iverson out there, Tyrone Hill, Buckner, and Eric Snow. The 5-4 Philadelphia beginning the second half. And Thomas short. Rebound by Pierce. Quickly triggers to Delk. And here comes Boston the other way.
Not a pretty shot that time.
Delk, former Final Four MVP when he played at Kentucky with the miss. Eric Snow, whose brother Percy Snow played in the NFL with a couple of teams, including Kansas City and Chicago.
I think Paul Pierce's team needs to listen to his speech he gave on that little piece we did. They need to penetrate a lot more because there is no shot blocker there.
Tyrone Hill knocks it in and puts Philly on top by a point. Philadelphia has beaten Boston 14 of the last 19 times these two teams have met. It's pretty good masteries, but T is down low, working on Tyrone Hill. Thomas with the rebound. I like Kenny Thomas. You know, I liked him in Houston and I like him in Philadelphia.
I like him too. You know, he misses a lot of shots I think he should make. And maybe with more minutes, he's going to be more consistent offensively. But he's a guy, he's getting 13.5 points over the last 10 games. And they need to get that. They need to get that 12 to 15 points out of him every night.
Hey, just like right there, across the lane for 2.
Well, and he's expanded his game some, Danny. I played against him in college, and he looked a lot heavier, played more of an inside game. He's taking care of his body, it looks, and he's looked like he's gained a lot of more quickness.
And here's Eric Williams. Buckner is defending him. A lot of injuries for this Philadelphia team. Derek Coleman, as Cheryl just told you, is out. Keith Van Horn not playing tonight. 3rd consecutive miss for him because of a foot injury.
And a good ball fake right there. And it shows his ability. He just took a jump shot right there, takes it into the traffic. Tough running right-handed shot. But he has ability. He has the athleticism, the quickness, the leaping ability to make those kind of tough shots.
Iverson's got 18, and John Greg Buckner for Philadelphia just picked up his 2nd personal foul.
You know, the thing that amazes me with that is that Allen probably the smallest, the shortest, the lightest guy, probably the quickest, but he makes more power moves than some of the big guys that are out there. I don't think you have to make all power moves, but somebody's got to go to the hole, and neither team has a shot blocker in the middle.
Eric Williams makes 1 of 2 free throws, and it's 47-45. Philly by 2. They've led by 4. Boston's been on top by 10. Iverson scoops it inside, looking for Thomas, leaping up high in a foul. That's on Boston, and a shove inside. Eric Williams picks up his 3rd. How about the Philadelphia 76ers? Before the All-Star break, they were 25-24, right? Just a game over 500. Since the All-Star break, Philadelphia averaging 6 more points, shooting 2% better from the field, 21-7 under Larry Brown.
Oh, well, they were terrible there for a stretch. I mean, they started the season out 15-4, Kevin, and then they just fell off the face of the earth. They were playing miserable basketball. So I think 15-4, they're probably playing a little better than they should have. And when they went into that terrible slide, everybody knew they weren't that bad. And but what a great second half of the season. And you got to give the credit to Allen Iverson. And I'm telling you, they're the number 3 seed right now. They have a chance to win the East with a strong finish here, and he definitely needs some votes for the MVP. More so than from Fred Hickman.
Who?
Fred Hickman. He's the guy that gave him the 1 vote. He's the guy that gave him the 1 vote that year. Shaq didn't win.
Yeah. That was disgraceful.
Well, we have to go one thing at a time. Those guys stood up as men and put him on the Olympic team. But you can't expect for so much at one time.
Pierce doubled, Walker, and wide open Eric Williams. When you double, somebody's going to be free, and there's Eric Williams knocking in that outside shot. Now from 3-point territory, Eric Williams shoots 33% from the field. And again, that story about no depth perception in his left eye. Only peripheral vision, but straight on, it's only gray. Across the lane, Allen Iverson dishing off to Snow. Wide open is Greg Buckner outside for a 2-point hit. 3 of 5 so far. Philadelphia has started shooting from the field in the second half.
And that's huge. You know, again, all these guys are getting touches, so they're not just standing over there watching Allen Iverson play, but they're getting to handle the ball, even though they're not shooting as many shots. Those guys have got to knock down shots.
Paul Pierce. So Pierce now As the Celtics have started 2 of 3, has 16 for the game and 18 for Allen Iverson. Those cover the 2 highest scores for the respective clubs.
Pierce is doing exactly what Danny said. He's just taking advantage of the size of the throw, taking him and just jumping over.
Kenny Thomas again operating inside and carving him for another 2. He's hit 2 in a row from right underneath the basket.
And those are huge. Those are the baskets that you got to get. You know, Allen takes a lot of shots. He drives to the hole. He draws a lot of attention. And that's one thing they missed since they lost Theo Ratliff and Tyrone Hill. Those are things those guys did so great. And George Lynch and Kenny Thomas is starting to realize that's where some bread is going to be made right there.
Boston is shooting 45% from the field. A couple misses by Walker, and Tony Dunk banks it in. He's got 7 as he starts tonight at the point guard for the Celtics.
Well, at least by penetrating like that as Walker did, he drew a lot of attention, gave Dunk an opportunity to come in from the weak side and get a putback.
Philly shooting 47%, a 3 by Craig Buckner, good from outside. That is the first 3-point hit by the Philadelphia 76ers tonight.
And you just can't emphasize how huge that is, because guys start making shots, all of a sudden it's just going to open it up more for your best players. And those role players have got to make the defense honor them.
Another 3 by Dunk as Philadelphia is enjoying their biggest lead tonight of 4. Here comes Snow. Guarded by the T. Thomas tried to get it in. Walker deflects it. Picked up by the T. That's the 8th Philadelphia turnover. Boston's got 10. Ooh, down goes the T hard. Trip. Rebounding in the game, +2 for the Philadelphia 76ers.
No, and this is Thomas again coming in, being very aggressive going in from the weak side. And this is down the other end. You're looking at Boston. You know, the ball's going on. And this is what I like to see. When they start getting in there and getting that kind of basket, it opens up outside. Even though that's Tony Delk, who's one of the smaller guys, it opened it up by penetrating.
Paul Pierce just got a T. The foul was on Tyrone Hill of Philadelphia. He picks up his first, but the T was on Paul Pierce, who was born and raised in the Los Angeles area.
At least something exciting is happening.
Well, you know, Pierce.
Well said.
Well, what happens sometimes, in my opinion, is Paul was complaining earlier in the game. He thought that he went to the basket a few times, didn't get the call, was complaining to the officials. They go in at halftime. They look at the film to see if they've made any mistakes. They realize they didn't make mistakes. Paul Pierce wasn't fouled. He was complaining. So you come out, you start complaining again, and they get you.
Enough is enough.
And even if they don't look at the film, they get you because they get sick of hearing your mouth.
That's right. Walter McCarty will check in for the first time for the Celtics in the second half, along with Mark Blount, who's got the ball right now working on Brian Skinner, all new entrants in the game. Pierce, nice shake and bake on Snow, and a rebound by Buckner. Philly is enjoying their biggest lead of 5, and Snow left uncovered. Rebound Thomas, who's played better in the second half for Philadelphia. He's got 10 rebounds. Buckner for 3. Rebound by Paul Pierce. Celtics have led by as many as 10. Walker, a little fake by Thomas in the drive. Thomas with the rebound.
Thomas is getting every rebound. That's all I keep hearing you say, Kevin.
He's got 11. He's got 11, Danny, outside. Allen Iverson for 2. And AI has a game-high 20 points.
Defensively and offensively, the Celtics inside game leaves a very lot to be wanted.
Philadelphia's got their biggest lead of 7 over the Celtics here in Boston. Shot clock at 2. Iverson. Good! Allen Iverson has been a flamethrower in this first half.
Iverson inside. Philly by 2. Iverson falling away. Puts it in.
Iverson. Oh, what a play by Allen Iverson.
That is one little big man right there.
I love that comment. That is one little big man. And tonight he has shown some of that for Philadelphia. A smart game, John. You know, he's done some intelligent things out there and playing the defense as well as we can see his offensive shot selection.
Well, and I think it comes down to what Larry talked about. Danny mentioned it very early. He's being patient. He's not rushing his offense. he has more confidence in his teammates, and I think that means a lot. But Danny also brought up an extremely good point. His teammates have to be productive in order for him to play like that, or he's better become more selfish.
Right, and now, like any great player, he'll lose confidence in those teammates when things aren't going real well. Especially the bigger the game or the bigger the moment in the fourth quarter. So that's why it's great to see. But, again, without Derek Coleman, Van Horn out there, this is not the real team that we're going to see come playoff time.
Iverson, by the way, 9 of 18 shooting tonight. Here comes Antoine Walker, rejected inside. Defense Thomas and Skinner. AI the other way, dancing on McCarty. He can't dance with him too much longer, and outside it goes to Skinner. Across the lane and into Blount. And the rebound, saved by Skinner, the former Los Angeles Clipper.
And Skinner just overpowered Blount, overpowered him on the shot, and then over-bogarted his way to get the ball back.
Bogarted, I like that, Kenny. Kenny Thomas. Boy, has he had a nice second half.
He's had a nice second half of the season.
Yes. 10-2 run by Philadelphia.
Bogart, that's Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah, it is, John. Sometimes
dating himself a little bit over there.
It's best not to ask a lot of questions. Paul Pierce off the baseline and a foul on Philly. Buckner was defending. Skinner was there as well, and Skinner picks up the foul.
There with Kenny Thomas on the post, he took that jump hook, a spectacular shot. It almost looked, Coach, like that wasn't the shot he really wanted. It came as a secondary thought. He's got to really establish, a basic down in the low post, a shot that he can rely on under pressure, and I think his shooting percentage will be better.
Well, I think that applies to a lot of the players.
Yeah.
Now, it's almost a disgraceful thing for a guy to have a jump hook and have a power move inside. I can understand the ability to be able to shoot outside, but you certainly need an inside game to offset it.
Paul Pierce at the free throw line. Pierce is an 80% free throw shooter. He's got 18 points tonight. Pierce a perfect 4 of 4. The Celtics are 7 of 10 from the line. And Philly is 14 of 17 from the free throw line tonight. Pretty big difference. 3, Allen Iverson launching and missing. Rebound tapped up and in. Kenny Thomas, who continues to dazzle inside. 11 points and 12 rebounds. He's got 10 of his 11 in this third quarter.
We're praising Thomas, and he deserves a lot of praise, but the Celtics definitely deserve a lot of criticism inside, which really makes you wonder who they're going to be able to defend inside, as well as the fact that they don't penetrate on offense. Inside defense is terrible.
Philadelphia has their biggest lead tonight. There's a foul as they go inside. Danny?
Well, and, right there, Thomas got the basket, but Brian Skinner twice has just overpowered Blount. He outweighs him by about 40 pounds on the inside. He just pushed him underneath the basket, kept the ball alive, and tipped it right there to Thomas coming in. So, you look at Mark Blount, he's undersized for a power forward in this league, and he's playing a lot of minutes at the center position.
Eric Snow picks up the foul. That Carolina blue tie and Carolina blue shirt of Larry Brown. Is that any kind of hint, John, as to what he might be thinking, or Roy Williams might be thinking of Kansas? We talked to him today about it, and he said that his feeling is that Coach Dean Smith wants Roy Williams from Kansas to be the next coach in North Carolina. And then we asked Larry, what if you were asked? And what was his reply?
Well, I thought it was very interesting. He said, if Coach wants me, I would go.
Yeah.
That love for Coach is stronger than that $6-7 million he's getting here.
It's pretty strong.
That's a hell of a lot of love there, boy.
They're going to get somebody good, regardless of who it is. 20 points now in the game. Pierce and Iverson are tied with 20 apiece. Monty Williams back in, finds Skinner with a nice pass. Monty Williams, a very smart player for Philadelphia.
Well, Skinner has played excellent right here. He's keeping the ball. You can't see it on the stat sheet, but he's been a force on the inside just with his muscle, athleticism, and his hustle.
Pierce working on Snow. Nice fake by Paul Pierce. Drew the double and couldn't hit. And Skinner with the rebound. You're right, Danny. He has played well both ends. Boston no field goals the last 4 minutes as Philadelphia attacks at the other end.
And you can see the difference in how they play. Again, Paul Pierce catches the ball, just stands out there, waits his time, and takes a shot. No movement, no opportunities. You see why the Celtics are last in the league at offensive rebounding in spite of being one of the worst shooting.
Oh, look at Craig Buckner. Miss his first shot, then vacuum it in and put it in, and a big lead now of 11 points in the game for Philadelphia.
Well, see, and that's the thing that happens when you stand around and shoot those threes. If they go in there, that's good. But you get so unaccustomed to going to the offensive boards that you even give up baskets on your defensive boards.
Grant Long now in for the Celtics. Here's Pierce. Snow has been given the task of defending Pierce tonight. Shot clock at 1. J.R. Bremer in and missing a long-range three-point shot.
Not one cut, not one screen, nothing.
Skinner. Ooh, knocked away by Buckner, retrieved by Pierce, and a foul on Skinner, I think. Kenny Thomas has been sensational. That's the second foul on Skinner, but Kenny Thomas, 11 points and 12 rebounds in the game for Thomas. Those 11 points, 10 have been authored here in the third quarter alone. Look at the points in the paint, 76ers plus 10 in this quarter alone.
And these highlights are all coming in the third quarter. Nice little running hook, attacking the lack of defense right there. Allen Iverson does a good job of penetrating. Kenny Thomas comes all the way from the three-point line to get the easy baskets. And then he just takes the jump hook right over Walter McCarty.
We take a break as you're watching the NBA on TNT. Weeks up in Provo, Utah. Danny Ainge had his number 22 retired by the Brigham Young University athletic department. The first ever in the history of that school, which is a terrific announcement. And moments ago, here in Boston, the Celtics recognized that retirement in Provo, and Danny got a standing ovation from the crowd, a sellout crowd here at the FleetCenter. Telling you what, if Cedric Maxwell is going to get his number retired, you should get your number retired too here, Danny.
Oh, you know what? I was fortunate to play with a lot of great players, a lot of Hall of Famers, and I'll tell you, the only thing I'll be mad about is if they put Bill Walton's up there before mine.
They might.
But you know why I'm so impressed with the number of guys who they put up there? Because of the team play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think all of you guys, particularly guys that really got out and got to play, you guys played together, and I think that's indicative of why the success was here. So, you see Maxwell, and I hate to say it because I won't be able to live with him, but I think Danny should definitely be up there.
Number 31, Cedric Maxwell, will have his number hoisted up into the rafters here in Boston.
What about Robert Parrish going into the Hall of Fame? There was a great teammate, a guy that was just willing to do all the dirty work, didn't show up on the stat sheets all the time, but what a great teammate Robert Parrish was. And now we're just waiting for Dennis Johnson. There's Robert Parrish, and 31's going up right next to Robert Parrish, but...
Well, and I think a perfect example of a guy that, sacrificed himself, did the things. What's not going on right now is what Robert Parrish did.
Exactly.
A guy that went inside, blocked up the middle, got layups, did the things that needs to be done. And it's time that these kind of people get recognized for the kinds of things that they contribute to a team.
And a lot of times Robert Parrish wouldn't score. He wouldn't touch the ball for the first three quarters because
you were on the team.
And I was jacking up the shots, right. And then, we needed him in the fourth quarter, and there he was. He had the ability to
Is that what you told him? Robert, we need you. Just don't shoot. Let me shoot.
Yeah, we told him to go to the offensive boards, him and Maxwell.
Eric Snow just knocked down a couple free throws for Philly.
Now we just need
the biggest lead of 11.
Now we just need Dennis Johnson in the Hall of Fame. There's a guy that won games and championships in all sorts of ways. Offense, defense, rebounds, steals, everything.
Aaron Long trying to manufacture something inside. Boston has missed their last 6 shots.
And I guarantee you Jim O'Brien put him in to do just what he did. Because Jim was upset over that, when they came back to the huddle. He needs a power factor in the middle. Those jump shots are fine, but if you live by him, you will die by him sometimes.
Monty Williams picked up the foul. Hey, John, tell us the story you were telling us earlier today in the car about when you got your first Boston Celtic paycheck and how you ran down the street.
I thought somebody was going to take it away from me. I never got the game. I ran like hell down the street to make certain that I cashed it. And I looked behind me, too, and see if somebody was coming to get it.
You probably cash it. I mean, everything is just the same as it is now, what it was 30 years ago, like 40 years ago.
They thought Red was going to steal it.
Right. How much was it?
Don't start that.
No. You backed up Bill Russell for a couple years, won a couple of championships here. Do you remember how much your first check was?
I very clearly know what it was. I'm not going to say it over here.
I think people would love to hear what that number is. As Iverson gives to McKee.
Let's just put it this way. I don't speak now for what I made in full salary.
McKee trying to beat the buzzer and does. Aaron McKee's got 7 off the bench.
And that's crucial, as Danny's been indicated, because if he steps up, and he seems to be regaining his health, if he steps up just before the playoffs, that's going to be a great help in scoring with Allen Iverson going well.
Yeah, we talk a lot about the role players making shots and how many guys need to contribute, but Aaron McKee is a proven commodity. I mean, that guy can flat out score when he's healthy and playing well.
That is the first field goal for Boston in over 6 minutes. 6 minutes and 20 seconds to be exact. 71-62, 76ers on top late in the third quarter. And that's an Allen Iverson shot. He's got 20. Philly is shooting 40%. Boston shooting 39% for the game from the floor. Monty Williams into the tee. And Brian Skinner right in front, point-blank range, and he can't hit it.
Well, at least they got a defensive rebound that time because Celtics don't get any rebound.
Tony Delk hacks in another shot. Delk has had a nice third quarter. He's got 11 points for the game and 6 in the third alone.
Well, Tony Delk has had a lot of personal problems, sickness of a daughter, and the death of his father, and health. He's not the same player that he was a couple of years ago, but he's starting to get back, and they really need him to have a chance.
Here's McKee to Snow. Nice ball rotation to Monty Williams. The ex-New York Knick and San Antonio Spur. Monty Williams puts it in. Philadelphia is led by as many as 11 points, and Boston is led by as many as 10 in this game.
But they aren't predictable. The 76ers mix their offense with inside and outside shots. Basically, most of the shots the Celtics have been taking outside, and you can gear your defense to what they're doing. They're too predictable right now.
McKee just picked up his second foul as they bring back in the game. Well, no, they're not going to. I think Antoine Walker was going to come in, but now he's going to stay out.
Great minutes by Skinner. I thought he played fantastic out there.
Grant Long is at the free throw line. He's played for a bunch of teams. Atlanta, Detroit, most of his years with Miami, 7 years there.
Well, he's a very physical player, like Coach mentioned. Another guy they have on the bench that's a physical presence is Mark Bryant. Mark Bryant is a beast.
And that's what they need. You know, you've got to mix it up. If you become that predictable with those three-point shots, that's fine if they're dropping. But it's easy to get your defense if you're not getting some penetration or some posting.
Mark Bryant has played 14 years in the NBA, although he's not played a lick tonight. Boston has a foul to give. Here comes Snow into 3 defending Celtics. McKee wide open other end of the floor. And knocks it in a 3 for Aaron McKee. He's got 10. Coming off the bench with a couple of rebounds. A 20-second timeout taken by the Celtics, who are trailing 76-66.
Good penetration. Good job by Walter McCarty coming over trying to get that call, but he unfortunately didn't get it. Aaron McKee wide open. You know, Aaron McKee, we keep talking about him, Coach. It looks like he's limping a little bit. I mean, he's making his shots right now, and offensively it's good, but he's not the same player he was, and you know, those feet look like they're bothering him.
Johnny has been battling some back spasms most of the season, but especially now.
Well, and that's what you see happening, because the last time we had him, I thought it was really noticeable. As Danny's saying, you can notice it somewhat now, but he's coming right at the right time, because he definitely is a person that can offset a lot of the doubles, a lot of the run-ats that you do at Allen. If this guy gets going, he's definitely going to be able to help them a lot.
And there goes Tony Petit, who entered tonight's game with a bad right knee and a bad left hand. A left hand he hurt last night going up against Kwame Brown of Washington. Final seconds. Paul Pierce has got 22. Allen Iverson has got 20. Those are the 2 game-high scores. Pierce dancing on Snow. Doubled by Hill. Antoine Walker left free to fire. Missing a 3. And a whistle.
I'm sorry, this is really frustrating to watch the Celtics play offense. You know, he didn't even have an edge. You get a hash mark jump shot.
You spread your offense, and he ends up shooting a deep 3.
Good if it goes. Allen Iverson knocks it down. That is a 3. A 3-point bomb dropped by Allen Iverson, who has 23 points. And Boston did have, as we mentioned before, a foul to give.
Yeah, I don't understand that. As soon as he catches it, you can foul him while the ball's in the air, you know, before he even catches it.
Well, they're going to look at it, they're going to review it and see if indeed he got it off in time. It appeared as though he did. Oh yes, easily within the time. And the 76ers have their biggest lead tonight. 79-66 as we go to the 4th.
Hey ho, let's go. I'm gonna start a riot. You don't wanna fight it. business was moving in a new direction. My supply chain was stuck in the past. I challenged Brown for new ideas and got them. Now transportation is synchronized with distribution and inventory. It all runs like clockwork. More efficiency, more profit. You remember profit, don't you?
Your supply chain synchronized. UPS, what can Brown do for you?
These are America's mean streets, where the truth is heard. And now there's a new rapper in town. A plain white rapper.
Y'all got guns? Makes me wanna run. I ain't having no fun. I feel like I'm a hot dog and y'all be the fun.
Jamie Kennedy, Tay Diggs, Anthony Anderson, Regina Hall, and Snoop Dogg.
Still a little? That little white rat ain't got nothing on me. Pound it.
Malibu's Most Wanted. Rated PG-13.
I'm down.
Starts April 18th.
Can you hear me now? Good. Can you hear me now? Good.
Verizon Wireless has the largest, most reliable nationwide network.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good.
You can count on us to do what it takes to make sure your voice is heard. It's good to be heard.
Can you hear me now? Good.
Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
We did all the work, so you get to have all the fun. Presenting the Aquatrax from Honda, the only all-four-stroke lineup of personal watercraft in the world, including the brand new turbocharged two-seater, the R12X. Advanced four-stroke technology means high performance and low pollution, so the water stays cleaner, man, and so does the air. It's just what you'd expect from Honda. Pure performance. To find a dealer near you, visit honda.com.
Welcome back to Boston, a city known for its landmarks. You're watching exclusive NBA coverage on TNT. Philadelphia's got their biggest lead tonight. As Danny Ainge was saying before the game, they need more than just Allen Iverson. And sure enough, Danny, he's gotten a lot of help from other sources.
They're getting a lot of help from a lot of sources in that third quarter in particular. And that's great because Allen now can take over the fourth quarter if they need him. He's fresh. He's out there playing, but he has not had to work hard.
Well, an interesting thing about it is that Allen has already had 21 attempts. It's when he's taking his shots that are important. As Danny indicated, he's not trying to rush. He's taking his time. He's involving his teammates. He's still getting his shots, but he's not taking his shots early in the shot clock and not taking wild shots.
So we begin the fourth quarter, and Philly out there with Iverson, Hill, Buckner, McKee, and Thomas. And a rebound by Buckner of Philadelphia. Boston out there with Del Pierce, Eric Williams, Mark Blount, and Antoine Walker. That's the 10 on the floor. Iverson with another miss. And a rebound by Hill, another offensive rebound by Philadelphia.
And Red Auerbach's got to just be dying watching this game right now. The Celtics have 0 fast break points in the first 3 quarters of the game.
That's unbelievable. Here's Buckner.
Why play? You can't fast break.
A 14th offensive rebound for Philadelphia. 14 offensive boards.
Well, and Jim O'Brien's got to be furious about that. I mean, they're anticipating. See, you get in a habit of standing around on the outside taking threes. You don't get moving. You don't get in the habit of cutting to the basket, cutting to the ball. When you get on defense, those habits become contagious. They're standing. Philadelphia's just out hustling them for baskets below the rim even, beating them for floor rebounds.
Antoine Walker picked up his first foul. And let's swing it over to Cheryl Miller.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. Tony Batiste, who just left the court a few minutes ago, sprained slightly his left ankle. They retaped it in the locker room, and he should return.
All right, they need it. They need that shot blocking and rebounding. He gives Coach Jim O'Brien.
I'd like to know what he's thinking.
He's thinking, well, we're in the playoffs, but there's no way that Boston can wiggle their way into the top 4 slots, thus getting home court in the first round. And you just wonder, after they clinched the playoff berth, their second consecutive playoff berth last night with the win over Washington, how much fire and intensity they've got, as Walker has a horrible looking miss and came down wrong on his leg, and he is hobbling the other way, grimacing in pain. There he is. He's got bad knees to begin with. He's had a 3 of 14 night shooting from the floor.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that they're just waiting for the playoffs and they can turn it on, because this is not pretty. But again, it's not that they're missing shots. I mean, it's just the way they're playing that it doesn't give you any encouragement.
McKee scoops it off to Buckner, who is whacked by Eric Williams. And that is a foul on, let's see here.
Double foul, I think.
I think it is too. It is double foul. Antoine Walker got one of them. And Kenny Thomas got the other. So we'll go to midcourt for the jump ball.
Well, as you would say, Kevin, they're just jousting on the inside. And it looks like Walker has a hold of Kenny Thomas's jersey right there, and Kenny Thomas just throws Walker's arm out of there. I don't see what Kenny Thomas did right there. Steve Javi, I love that guy. He's a great official. But Steve, he made a turnover right there. That was a bad call. Wouldn't be right. I couldn't go a whole game without saying something about the refs.
Bad call and bad acting, too.
We said we had 4 officials tonight: Steve Javi, Mark Wunderlich, Jess Kersey, and
Danny Ainge.
They offered me a whistle before the game. I said, mess up with my mic.
Javi might be the best official. We just saw him a second ago. Might be the best official, single official in the NBA. A couple that really stand out. Danny Crawford is one of them.
Yeah, I always felt like, well, this is a great crew.
It is a great crew.
Wunderlich and Jess Kersey, these guys have been around. They know what they're doing, and I think they've officiated a great game just because we haven't mentioned their names a whole bunch.
Yeah.
That's not as much fun.
Yeah, you want to. 15 points is the biggest the 76ers have led by tonight. Celtics big lead 10. Here comes Paul Pierce, ramming his way inside. Rebound by Kenny Thomas. Kenny Thomas has lasted 13 rebounds tonight. And 13 points. Third foul goes on Paul Pierce.
That's 14.
Yeah, 14, yeah, 14.
And Walker is walking very gingerly on his knees, right now. And that probably has a whole lot to do with his post-up game, his rebounding, and one of the reasons why he's virtually just taking jump shots.
That's what he did all year, though. I mean, that guy's just jacking shots up from the three-point line.
Iverson circles the lane. Tyrone Hill picked up the loose ball. And finally it ends up with Antoine Walker.
Are you sure Tyrone Hill's not the guy that's blind in one eye?
You are awful. Tony Delk. Rebound by Thomas. 15 boards now for Kenny Thomas as they go diving for the loose ball. Out of bounds it goes. A little hustle right there. Rebounding tonight finds the Sixers on top +3, 30-27. But offensive rebounding is just way, is that 38 or 30? I can't read my board here. It is 38, excuse me. My machine just went down.
And that's basically been as a result of just plain hustle.
A fast break.
Hold on. Walker on the fly.
Well, at least they tried a fast break.
And tried something that they're not used to doing, getting a layup.
How can the fans get excited when you don't have any fast break points? I mean, what do they get excited about? If you do this, if you walk in the ball up the court and play an isolation basketball.
The teams, by the way, guys, are combined 1 of 11 shooting in this fourth quarter. It's Pierce, who tonight has gone 7 of 17. In the block, knocked away by Buckner. Another turnover, under 9 to play. The shooting in this game, 76ers 46% from the floor, and Boston 37% from the field. That's field goal shooting.
Hey, if we could fast break with Kevin McHale, Dennis Johnson, and Larry Bird on the fast break, anybody could fast break.
But you're also talking about guys that will give it to you on defense and get rebounds so that you can get out and run.
Timeout taken.
We got a blowout going on in Boston. We also have a blowout in the NBA.com question of the night. San Antonio getting 80% of the vote with the question, who will win the Midwest Division? Voter turnout rather light at this point. Back to Kevin Hines.
Voter turnout rather light. Well, here's how the Western Conference, if it began tonight, would look. San Antonio, Phoenix, Portland, Minnesota. That Dallas Lakers series is looking pretty juicy, and there's Sacramento and Utah. Playoffs begin Saturday, April 19th on TNT with the preview show at 11 o'clock Eastern Time, Friday night, April 18th.
Yeah, those are some sweet series right there. You know, Phoenix plays well against San Antonio. Stephon Marbury's put up some huge numbers against them. But San Antonio has been the hottest team. I don't see there being an upset there, but it being a good series.
76ers have their biggest lead tonight at 19 points. And outside, Kiefer Brown with the miss. Pierce with the rebound. And Walker gets another one and finally puts it up and in.
And finally they got on the offensive boards and got something out of it.
The 76ers are +9 in rebounding tonight.
Seeing Bimbo Coles come in, play some defense, good experience, veteran guy. Make something happen right away.
Turnover right off the bat by the 76ers. Turnovers 9 for Philadelphia and 12 for Boston. Tony the T. And picked up by Kenny Thomas, who grabs his 17th rebound with 13 points. Tyrone Hill missed everything. What are you saying to anybody shooting?
He wasn't talking about his shooting. He was talking about his eyes. I'm inclined to agree with him on that.
Oh, nice sweep move inside by Paul Pierce.
That little depth perception issue we were talking about.
He's got 24 this Paul Pierce.
And that shot with Pierce, the key word you used was inside. That's what they've got to be able to do.
Timeout taken by Larry Brown, who is ticked off at the defense or lack thereof of his Philadelphia team. 7:07 to play in this fourth quarter. Philly by 15. Presentation of Danny Ainge's Caught My Eye.
Thanks, Kevin. On to the playoffs. Things catching my eye. Good things come to good people. Congrats to Jim Boeheim and Syracuse. Rick's son made a great trade this year. 2 weeks earlier, and the Sonics might be in the playoffs. Best wishes to departing Jerry Krause. I know, we all want to see him in Chicago. High anxiety on the injury front. Ben Wallace and Michael Finley will be back and contributing. And finally, what a year for MVP. Never before have so many been so evenly qualified.
You know, this is about as close an MVP race as the middle 70s when Abdul-Jabbar, McAdoo, Cowens, Barry, and George McGinnis are the top 5 vote getters. We've got 7 or 8 guys that are going to get some credible votes in this year's MVP race.
Yeah, those that you just saw on the board, I mean, that's a who's who in basketball there.
McKee missing at 2. Rebound by the T out there at Pierce. Kedrick Brown, Antoine Walker, Bimbo Coles. That's the 5 for Boston. Snow goes down after being rammed into by Pierce. Out of bounds. So foul down low. And it's called on the defending Tyrone Hill.
Coach, who do you like for the MVP today?
Yeah, today.
No, if you're voting today.
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, that's how close it is. I'm really not certain. I mean, I think it's fluctuated throughout the year, really, based on the injuries, based on a lot of things.
You can't get out of it that easy. You got to pick somebody.
I can't pick anybody yet.
It's Pierce to Bimbo Coles. Shot clock showing 2. And the veteran Coles can't hit, but Antoine Walker gobbles up the offensive rebound. One of the few offensive boards Boston has had tonight. And this is Pierce launching a 3. Rebound by Thomas. The 76ers have McKee, Snow, Hill, Thomas, and Iverson. That sets the 10 on the floor for you with about 6:05 to play in this game. Sacramento and LA next from the Staples Center in Los Angeles. Iverson across the lane. Thomas with another loose ball, his 18th rebound, and a whistle and a foul.
Anytime the MVP is discussed in this league, they should isolate Shaq. Because it goes without saying that he is the most valuable player.
The T just picked up his 3rd foul. Can I cast my vote? We'll go down the line.
Sure.
I'm not going to pay any attention to it, though.
Well, now, wait a minute. My vote counts. We got 3 people here. My voice counts. I'm going to go for Tim Duncan of San Antonio.
Ooh, I'm going to ditto that. It's really close. Garnett's had a great year. McGrady, Kobe. I agree with you, Coach. I mean, if Shaq were to play in 65 games, if Shaq were to play like he's been playing since January, it is over. But the bottom line is he really didn't this year. He was injured first half of the year and hasn't played up to his capabilities. I think he's the first one to admit that. But I got to go Tim Duncan simply because he does it every night. and their team is 39-7.
By the way, I would put in the middle of that Allen Iverson's picture because I think Iverson has had that kind of season for Philadelphia.
And I would be biased in voting for Allen because I don't like neutral friends. I'd rather have a good enemy than a neutral friend. So,
if Kevin Garnett could elevate Minnesota to that fourth slot, and for the first time in franchise history get home court advantage as Pierce backs up and launches at 3. Kedrick Brown the rebound. I would think seriously about Kevin Garnett. Antoine Walker tried to scoop it on.
Well, we've gone, about 2 weeks ago, Kevin Garnett was my choice. I mean, Kevin Garnett's had a fantastic year, but wow.
Wow is right. 25 for Iverson.
But, Duncan's just doing it. His team just continues to win. And the thing about it is they got rookies out there. They got Ginobili, Parker, 20 years old, Stevie Jackson, they got off the waiver wire. I mean, they're doing it with not great players around them, just good role players, and Duncan is the whole key to that.
Down goes Skinner, up goes Battie, and 5:06 to play. Third foul is put on Skinner.
Well, this is where Allen is extremely tough because he caught them in transition open court, got down quickly before anybody could react and got a layup. That's what Larry wants to see happen. He wants to see him in transition quickly get baskets, and particularly the way the Celtics are reacting or aren't reacting to them.
Iverson's got 25. Pierce has 24. But really, Kenny Thomas has kind of stolen the show in the second half for Philadelphia when they burst out, now leading by 19 with 15 points and 19 rebounds for Kenny Thomas. Danny, he has had a terrific last 11 games. Kenny Thomas has averaged over 13 rebounds and about 14 points a game. He has been sensational when the Sixers have needed him the most late in the season with all these injuries.
Right, and recently Kenny Thomas had 24 points and 20 rebounds in one game against Orlando, so this is not a fluke.
Well, the great thing about it, and that's why we had this team on the all-chemistry team last week, is the fact that guys contribute what is needed. Snow does his job, McKee does his job. Now you got Thomas chipping in with what is needed, rebounding.
And I'll tell you another guy that you can't see it on the stat sheet, but I love the way that Skinner has played.
Absolutely.
Especially against this undersized front line. He just is beating up Battie and Mark Blunt on the inside.
Kedrick Brown got part of that shot, and Boston the other way. Boston won last night in Washington when they clinched a playoff, and coming out very lackadaisical tonight against the Philadelphia 76ers, who are a team in the Eastern Conference as Pierce splits the defense. A rebound inside again, all down by Kenny Thomas. 20 rebounds now for Thomas tonight. The 76ers are a team that could finish anywhere between 1st and 6th in the Eastern Conference. The way they're playing tonight, albeit with injuries, they're going to be in the top 2 or 3 teams, I think, in the East. Coming up next, it's Chris Webber against Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant. As you can see, Sacramento has already won 2 of the 3 against Los Angeles, but we saw Los Angeles a week ago tonight in Dallas, and they looked wonderful, especially Shaq, who had a double-double again. He's in shape, he looks healthy. I mean, everything about him, you sense that the Lakers are ready and primed regardless of where they fall in the slotting in the Western Conference playoff picture.
I sense the same thing with Sacramento. Sacramento's on a mission this year. And Sacramento, they kind of cruise through a lot. They have so much talent, and sometimes they do things too easily. But when they've had to step up and play big, meaningful games this year, they have really risen to the occasion. And I still think they're the team to beat.
And you're talking about injuries. They've had to recover. That team has had to play extremely well without key guys, alternating people because of injuries, too. So they've had to make major adjustments.
Here come the Celtics, who have shot 25% in the second half from the floor. Bremer is in there with Long, Kedrick Brown, Bimbo Coles, and Blount. It's a long shot which won't go. Boston has missed their last 9 from the field. The crowd in the disgust is beginning to hit the aisles and the exits and leave. Allen Iverson with a long rebound. Allen Iverson has 25. Paul Pierce on the bench with 24. He's finished tonight for the Celtics. Look at Larry Brown out there, still coaching hard with a 19-point lead. That's a rebound by Blount, and out to Grant Long. Rebound by John. How about Brown's practice this morning? John and I always talk about this, how hard he coaches just in a shoot-around the day of the game.
We're always teaching the game, and that's what I love about Larry Brown. That's what I love about the way his teams play.
Wow.
Well, he delegates very little.
Yes.
He works at it himself a lot.
He does. And that's a nice play by Allen Iverson.
I love that shot. That is a very, very hard shot.
Coming up after this, we swing out to Los Angeles for the Kings and the Lakers.
We're down to 7 seconds. Bryant putting a move on Christie. Rebound O'Neal. Coming up short. Curry for the win. Yes!
Well, I like Los Angeles myself. I just think they've got so much right now on the ball. After watching them last week against Dallas, I've always felt so highly about the Kings, but Dallas is going to be that X factor regardless of where they're slotted. Guys?
Well, I'll go with the Lakers too because I think Shaq makes the difference. I think he's in a category by himself, particularly if he's healthy and mobile and confident. But Sacramento Kings are a beautiful team to watch play.
The most enjoyable single team in the NBA to watch. There's no doubt about it. They pass. Everyone wants to be like the Kings. Even Larry Brown said that. Nice jam inside by Tyrone Hill. Larry Brown said the other night when Sacramento came to Philly and beat the 76ers, he said, that's the way I want to play. That's the way every other team wants to play. They want to pass. They want to feel good about what the other guy is doing. They want to know what the other guy is doing. He said the Kings are the envy of the entire NBA.
Well, you got so many guys that can pass, and it's not just the way they play, it's because of the talent they have. I mean, for example, I love the way this Philadelphia team plays. I love the way Utah plays, but they don't have the quality of passers that Sacramento has, and you see more spectacular plays, more spectacular shots because they're just loaded with talent.
And not just their perimeter people, you're absolutely correct. Their post people are great passers. Both Weber and Divac are extremely good passers. The guys aren't afraid to hit them, move, and will receive back if they're doubled.
Kedrick Brown over Tyrone Hill. Boy, the shooting in the second half for Boston has been absolutely horrible. 8 of 33. 8 of 30. You almost got to try to miss that many.
Well, you have to mix too a little bit. I mean, they're taking predominantly jump shots. You're not getting any transition baskets. You're not getting much off the cut or the drive.
Bremer through traffic and rejected by Monty Williams of Philadelphia. So Iverson is finished for the night with 25 points. So is Kenny Thomas, 15 points and 20 rebounds for Kenny Thomas.
You know what is really obvious with that 76ers team, though, is Allen's relationship and Larry is getting much, much better.
Boston has only scored 4 points this quarter. Antoine Walker out for the game, 12 points. 4 of 17 for Antoine Walker shooting tonight for the Boston Celtics.
Well, you know what's interesting? I mean, you see Allen coming out. You're talking about two men with an awful lot of pride, you know, right there. And that's what you love to see. I mean, they've worked at it. Both of them are champions. Both of them want to win, you know, but it's a love fest now. They're just like teammates. Look at them right there. And I'm glad to see that.
I think Iverson realizes that he's not going to find, you know, there are a lot of great coaches in the NBA. He's not going to find a better coach in the NBA than Larry Brown.
I agree with that.
Well, Larry's not going to find many better players than Allen.
Exactly. It's a two-way street.
I think it's a compromise. Allen works hard when he's in a ball game. You know, he doesn't like that practice thing. As he said, we talked about practice. Yeah. But in the meantime, he comes in the game and works as hard as anybody in basketball, injured or well.
And it's a good lesson for everybody to learn because, you know, sometimes relationships are completely different. People come from different places and have different ideas how the game should be played, but you still can value the differences that each brings to the table. And it's just taken them time, I think, to fully appreciate what the other one brings.
The one thing they have in common is both of those men want to win.
Yes.
And that's the thing that has pulled them together.
Alley-oop, good pass from Grant Long into the high-flying grasp of Kedrick Brown.
And this Kedrick Brown, you know, I mean, I think he's a good player. Watching him work out before the game, this kid's got some skill. And, you know, Joe Johnson, who this Boston team liked Kedrick Brown a lot better than Joe Johnson. Joe Johnson's been a huge factor for the Phoenix Suns this year.
This is Salmons from outside. Rencius, who just came off the Larry Brown bench. He is a rookie from Greece. Ephemius Rencius. Greece. He's played or had time with Denver and Atlanta. Spain 4 years. His NBA rights were traded to Philadelphia. He's played on the Olympic Greek team. Well, a nice win for the 76ers, who will beat the Boston Celtics for the 15th time in the last 20 meetings, a block by Rencius and a foul. Can you believe that? They've beaten them 15 times in the last 20 meetings. Well, that's a pretty dominant pair of numbers.
That's bad.
Yeah. Well, Ernie, we're going to fall asleep here. Can we send it to you in Atlanta for just a quick update on what's going on in Los Angeles?
Certainly you can, Kevin.
Thank you. Thank you.
More than happy to oblige. Shaquille O'Neal and the Lakers getting ready to host the Sacramento Kings. Shaq, by the way, missing practice on Wednesday. The excuse he gave Phil Jackson, he had a flat tire. Phil not thrilled.
That's sweet. That's sweet.
I love that.
He had someone else. He had someone else call in. The coach for him said he couldn't make it because he had a flat tire.
And you know what? Those are the kind of excuses that you accept because they're so honest and so obvious and so simple.
Yeah.
When a guy brings up something, his cousin, his third cousin on the left side.
I don't think Phil thought it was honest, Coach.
Got a flat tire. Hey, that's so simple and so true.
We've seen the tires on his cars. There's no way they can be flat. They're as big as him. Here's Bremer. Final seconds of this game ticking off. Grant Long nails one from outside. The 15th year veteran from Eastern Michigan.
I think he was referring to his foot. He doesn't have a flat tire. Just a little. I needed the day off.
Yeah.
That's a tough call, though. You know, you got your star players, and for whatever reason, a little disgruntled. And, you know, I'm sure Phil's not making Shaq practice very hard right now.
Salmons.
It's not a tough call for me when playoffs are coming up. I'd ask him if he want me to help him change it.
Well, the Celtics are going to get booed off their floor tonight, off the parquet here in Boston. A pretty dismal Boston performance, and the 76ers look very good. That is your final score, 99-78. Larry Brown with a nice win. The 5th consecutive road win for Philadelphia. The 76ers have won 17 of their last 21 road games. Philly goes to 47-21, and they are just a game out of the top spot in the East. And look at that, 4 teams within 2 games. What a great race this will be in the last 6 days. Allen Iverson had 25 points and looked great. Paul Pierce had 24, 2 of the premier players in the NBA. Our producer tonight, Mike Burks. Our director, Lonnie Dale. Coming up next, the Kings and the Los Angeles Lakers. And now for Cheryl Miller, Danny Ainge, John Thompson. This is Kevin Harlan saying so long from the FleetCenter in Boston. We'll take a break and send you to Atlanta on TNT.